L. Frank Baum's classic, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, is honestly so much more than just a simple fairy tale. Today, we're taking a visual journey down that famous yellow brick road to dig deep into the striking imagery and the profound themes embedded right from the very first chapters. As you'll see, this story is an absolute masterclass in character and illusion, so let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. This story wastes absolutely no time. There's a cyclone hitting him. With that urgent warning from Uncle Henry, we meet young Dorothy, an orphan living out in the vast, desolate prairies of Kansas with her aunt and uncle. Before we even have a second to settle in, the sky goes dark, the wind starts howling, and nature just unleashes this terrifying whirlwind.
Section 1. The Cyclone and the Arrival. That massive whirlwind traps Dorothy and her little dog Toto, whisking them away from everything they know inside their tiny one-room wooden house, soaring miles and miles above the earth into the great unknown. Now, to truly grasp the impact of where she lands, you have to look at the stark visual contrast. The text describes her home in Kansas as completely baked gray and desolate. I mean, the grass is gray, the house is gray, even Aunt Em and Uncle Henry have turned gray from the harsh sun and hard labor. But then, the house lands with a massive bump. Dorothy opens her door to the land of the Munchkins. Instantly, all that gray is replaced by lush green meadows, bright flowers, singing birds, and this incredibly rich, vibrant blue tint that colors the clothing and the circular houses of the local people. It is a huge visual shock to the system.
But this colorful arrival comes with a pretty shocking revelation. Dorothy's house has inadvertently landed on and completely crushed the Wicked Witch of the East. The Munchkins are instantly freed from slavery, and literally all that is left of the witch are her magical silver shoes. Soon the Good Witch of the North arrives, gifts these mysterious silver shoes to Dorothy, and places a magical glowing kiss of protection right on her forehead. With a clear directive to seek out the Great Wizard of Oz to find her way back to Kansas, our young heroine takes her first step onto a road paved with yellow bricks.
Section 2. The Three Strange Companions. Because as we all know, no great quest is ever undertaken alone, and Dorothy soon gathers a fellowship united by a deep, shared sense of inadequacy. Now, what's really interesting about this is the structured repetition of their perceived deficits. These aren't mighty warriors. We have the Scarecrow, made of straw, desperately seeking a brain. We have the Tin Woodman, made of metal, longing for a heart. And we have the Cowardly Lion, a creature of flesh and bone who is completely paralyzed by fear and seeks courage. Each is defined by their material, and each is totally convinced they're fundamentally missing a crucial internal trait. Let's look a little closer at the Scarecrow. He's actually the very first companion Dorothy meets, lifted straight off a pole in a cornfield. He openly admits it is such an uncomfortable feeling to know one is a fool. You see, he has this deep, almost painful insecurity about his head being stuffed with straw. He feels entirely inadequate because he was literally just made the day before, and yet he's the first one to boldly join Dorothy on her dangerous quest to ask Oz for help. Then we have the Tin Woodman, who they find completely rust-bound in the forest until Dorothy oils his joints. His backstory is incredibly tragic. He was once a human woodchopper deeply in love with a Munchkin girl, but the Wicked Witch cursed his axe, causing him to chop off his own limbs one by one. A tinsmith replaced them with metal, and eventually his torso was replaced too. As he laments, no one can love who has not a heart, so he joins the quest, desperate to reclaim that lost emotion. And finally, the Cowardly Lion bounds onto the path. He terrifies them all at first. Well, until Dorothy slaps him on the nose for trying to bite Toto. He immediately breaks down, admitting, "Whenever there is danger, my heart begins to beat fast." It's a crushing irony for him. He's supposed to be the fierce king of beasts, yet he is deeply ashamed of his own fear. He joins the group fully expecting the Wizard of Oz to magically grant him the courage he feels he completely lacks.
Section 3. Challenges along the way. The dark, dense forest they enter isn't just a physical obstacle course. It serves as the ultimate proving ground for their so-called deficits. And this sequence is relentlessly fast-paced. In the first hour alone, they face a massive, deep ditch. Shortly after, they're attacked by Kalidas, which are these monstrous beasts with bare bodies and tiger heads. Next, they have to cross a rapid, dangerous river on a makeshift raft. And finally, they stumble into a deceptively beautiful yet deadly field of scarlet poppies that puts creatures of flesh to sleep forever. The environment grows increasingly dangerous and demands intense teamwork to survive. And this brilliantly illustrates the central irony of their journey.
When they reach that massive ditch, who figures out how to cross it? The supposedly brainless Scarecrow. He deduces that the lion can jump across, carrying them one by one. Later, when they need a bridge, he's the one who tells the Tin Woodman to chop down a tree. Meanwhile, the so-called heartless Tin Man accidentally steps on a beetle and weeps tears of genuine sorrow, rusting his jaw shut because his empathy is just so overwhelming. And the cowardly lion? He leaps across a massive gorge and stands his ground against the terrifying Callidas, roaring to protect his vulnerable friends. It all synthesizes into one clear theme: the illusion of lack. They already have exactly what they are seeking. Think about it. When the field of deadly poppies puts Dorothy, Toto, and the lion into a lethal sleep, it's the Scarecrow's quick thinking and the Tin Woodman's immense kindness when he rescues the queen of the field mice from a wildcat that ultimately saves them. The mice, in return, pull the heavy lion out of the poppies. The group survives strictly through the brilliance, compassion, and bravery they supposedly don't possess.
Section 4. The Emerald City. Having survived the wilderness, this marks the grand climax of their long journey as they arrive at the glowing green gates.
But arriving at the Emerald City brings some very strange new rules. At the gate, a guardian imposes a completely bizarre requirement. Every single visitor must wear mandatory green glasses, which are literally locked onto their faces with a little key. The guardian claims this is to prevent them from being blinded by the city's brilliant glory. But it definitely makes you wonder, is the city actually made of glowing green emeralds? Or is it just an illusion forced upon everyone by these locked lenses? I mean, everything they see, the clothes, the money, even the lemonade, is green. This layer of enforced perception builds a heavy sense of suspense, bringing us to the ultimate question. Who is Oz, really? Despite waiting in the opulent palace, the group learns a rather disturbing fact from a soldier. Nobody in the entire city has ever actually seen the wizard's true face. He is a mystery of terrifying proportions, and the rumors are wild. The soldier tells them, some say he looks like a bird, others an elephant, and others a cat. He supposedly takes on whatever form he wishes. He's shifting, enigmatic, and entirely unpredictable. And this is the daunting reality Dorothy faces as she's finally told she must enter his presence completely alone. Section 5. The Great and Terrible Oz. Let's move along and see how this builds as Dorothy finally steps into the sparkling, emerald-encrusted throne room. She's small, humble, and really just hoping for a ticket home to her Aunt Em. But what she finds is pure intimidation. Oz doesn't manifest as a bird or a cat for her. Instead, he appears as a massive, disembodied head sitting directly on a green marble throne. No body, no arms, no legs, just a gigantic, interrogating face staring her down, demanding to know where she got the silver shoes and the glowing mark on her forehead. Dorothy pleads for his help to return to Kansas, but this brings us to a major twist. So the crucial point is, Oz reveals his entirety transactional nature with one single command: kill the Wicked Witch of the West. In this land, he says, everyone must pay for what they get. He demands this impossible, lethal task before he will grant her wish or the wishes of any of her friends. Which leaves us with a truly staggering dilemma. How can an innocent girl, who has never intentionally killed anyone, possibly complete this dark and impossible task against a powerful witch? Dorothy is a child who just wants to go home, yet she is now tasked with an assassination in a magical land. It's a breathtaking cliffhanger that redefines her entire journey. What will she and her companions do next? Well, that is a question that leaves us all eager to uncover the rest of this incredible story.